One isn't related to Colin Firth.
No.
Miranda Richardson.
Any outside space?
You can stick your head out of a window.
And Hugh Bonneville. Williams and Friend.
This is fun.
Starts tonight at 9:30 on BBC One.
Yes, Sherlock and Watson as you've never seen them before. Williams and Friend this week, Jake Whitehall in half an hour. With some strong language now on BBC One. If anyone's ready, well, let's play.
Good evening, welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Alexander Armstrong. In the news this week, on a building site in Manchester, after a construction worker is injured in a fall, the main culprit tries to sneak away from the scene. Following Donald Trump's shock victory, the youth wing of the Ku Klux Klan slightly jumped the gun with a visit to Washington. And in the grounds of Windsor Castle, a furious Kate Middleton wonders where the hell Princess Charlotte's buggy's gone. On Ian's team tonight is a comedian who, in one show, lambasted posh white men as the cause of all Britain's problems. Yeah, well, that's as may be. You just try holding a boat race without them. Please welcome Nish Kumar. And with Paul tonight is a Labour MP who says she spent many of her evenings as a teenager leafleting for the Labour Party, although her parents told friends she was in prison. Please welcome Jess Phillips, MP. And we start with the bigger stories of the week. Ian and Nish, take a look at this.
Oh, yeah, that's the Chancellor flying an aeroplane. Important statement. It's jam.
That is not scientific. The big news of the autumn statement is that he's cancelling the autumn statement.
That's right, yes.
That's a pretty gangster move. Like, to come out and be like, what is your autumn statement? This is the last one. Mic drop, Hammond out.
Tell me something not boring about Philip Hammond.
Oh.
Can you tell us something not boring? He's a champion water skier.
He used to run a nightclub.
Oh,
What? That must have been the worst nightclub ever.
Was it Sinatra's with a C?
Let's listen to what this lady has to say.
I remember going round to his house once. We got hold of half a bottle of sherry and proceeded to drink it. And very randomly, we ended up having a bit of a cheeky snog. Who'd have thought that Philip Hammond was such a good kisser?
Literally no one.
I mean, in that photo, he looks like the guy that did it in all films.
No, but to be fair, he's the only one that's bothered to turn up in focus. The other kids, it doesn't matter, you know.
Well, we saw some jam there.
Yeah.
What was the jam all about?
It's a new acronym for the government, just about managing, and it describes their performance. The fact is we're in unbelievable debt. We're in even more debt than we've ever been.
Ever.
£2 trillion of debt, which we're going to have to pay off. All those years of austerity, and we've just given up. I don't want to be gloomy. Because if you're gloomy, you know, they come and get you. The Chancellor's only just keeping his job. People saying, oh, for God's sake, Hammond, can't you cheer up? Tell us that the weather's lovely, but it isn't. Winter's coming.
So how is Hammond going to help the just about managing?
Well, he's
What's he going
borrowing
to
lots
do?
of money.
Yeah.
He's reversing some of the cuts, and he's going to build roads and houses and infrastructure. And
Upping the minimum wage.
Upping the minimum wage. He's doing lots of things that quite a lot of people agree with, which is sort of his job. He's meant to be quite boring, and to make everyone feel calm, and that there isn't going to be a disaster. Unfortunately, Mrs May used the term the cliff edge.
Yes, that's right.
We don't want to go up to the cliff edge. And you're thinking, hang on, you're just telling us to calm down. And, oh, my God, there's a cliff edge. But
That's right. Theresa May said she does not want to go off a cliff edge.
no, well, that's sound.
That's a
right.
sudden break. Some people do want to go off a cliff edge, though. Who are the people who like the cliff edge?
Is it Ian Duncan Smith?
Oh, yes. Richard Tice from the Leave Means Leave group. He likes it. He says we need a quick transition to Brexit to avoid uncertainty, whereas Paul Nuttall, the UKIP leadership candidate, says there's no cliff, it's a springboard.
You can be the first one off.
Yeah.
Then you try it first, Bob.
Philip Hammond, of course, has been debating public spending for a long time, as we can see from this clip. This is a clip from 2010.
Oh.
I don't think any party has identified in detail how they will reduce public spending over the course of the coming Parliament. The question to the Labour Party, to Pepper, if I may, is you have all the civil servants, you have all the data, you're sitting on all the contracts, you know all the forward commitments. Why have you not published a comprehensive spending review?
She has no answer. Anyways, there was great news around Brexit Britain. Come on, libtards, come on, let's cheer up. Come on. There's great news. Let's look on the bright side now. What's the bright side?
Brexit's going to cost us 100.
No, the bright side.
Oh,
The
sorry.
bright side. Jobs are up.
Yes.
Facebook and Google are expanding. They're creating hundreds of jobs in tax avoidance, mainly. What's the Daily Star claim are coming down?
Prices.
Exactly. Prices are coming down. This Friday, there's going to be a bumper Black Friday Brexit bonanza.
Oh, we're not doing that again, are we?
Yes. It's to cheer up Britain and in
That's why it's called
anticipation.
Black Friday.
Yeah. What are Morrison's supermarket hiring several of?
Assassins.
This is
They're going to cull the shoppers. We haven't got enough yoghurt to sell it to everybody.
Morrison's are hiring strong men who will help shoppers carry 7-kilo legs of Serrano ham to their cars and 5-litre kegs of old speckled hen. Who's planning on making a comeback?
Des O'Connor. To be fair, he never went away.
Tony Blair.
Yeah.
Tony Blair.
Yes.
Fantastic news.
A source told the Sunday Times he thinks there's a massive hole in British politics. I can think of one.
I mean, are you desperate enough to welcome him back?
I mean, I suppose the Labour Party's having a bit of a tough time, but I'm not entirely sure he's the answer to that particular question.
You don't think he'd come back and be popular?
Well, it's difficult to say. Won 3 elections, didn't he? So he's more popular than we've been for some time. But, yeah, I mean, I think that it's not the person I would have picked, but there we go.
Yeah, but meanwhile, I mean, Labour must be just rubbing their hands at the disarray the government finds themselves in. Us landing some careful blows.
That's right, it's a precision team.
Yeah, what has Jeremy Corbyn's response been?
I'm not entirely sure. Genuinely, I don't know the answer.
There have been a couple of gnomic tweets from him. Perhaps you can
the tweets.
interpret these for us. Here's one. Labour is setting out the path to a better alternative that's about good intervention. In fact, it's intervention for the common good.
Is that a cryptic crossword clue?
We now face the task of creating a new Britain from the 4th Industrial Revolution, powered by the Internet of Things and big data to develop cyber physical systems and smart factories.
People of Birmingham Yardley speak of little else.
I just think no response is better, because after the in the immediate aftermath of the EU referendum, it was kind of impressive the way that the Labour Party looked at the Conservatives in turmoil and didn't think, oh, we can use this to our advantage, and instead just went, you call that political disarray? Sit down, let the professionals show you how it's done.
This is Philip Hammond's first autumn statement as Chancellor. Well, actually, it's his second. His first statement was just, oh, shit. Theresa May has inspired the acronym JAM for those who are just about managing. Although for some reason she hasn't come up with a term yet for those fat cats who are cleaning up nicely, thanks. Paul and Jess have this.
This is obviously the story of Nigel Farage being appointed by Twitter by Donald Trump to potentially be the ambassador between the UK and the US, which would make Nigel Farage an economic migrant. You're all welcome. And Theresa May basically saying, I'm UKIP enough by myself, I don't need Nigel Farage's help. And saying there is no vacancy for migrant-hating racists in my administration. Yeah, so
there's enough.
Yeah, there's plenty.
Because last week we weren't on because it was children with knees, and we had. But I obviously have not read a paper, so this just sounds all so absurd.
Oh, there's more.
Is there more?
Yeah, Trump's proposed to the Queen. And she's accepted, and the wedding is next year. They're going to have it in Trump Tower. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, I look forward to it.
Yeah, I'm best man. Are you? He hasn't actually appointed him. I mean,
but via Twitter. I mean, that's real, isn't it?
The President isn't actually allowed to appoint our ambassador yet.
No, no. Thankfully
not on Twitter. If he does it on Facebook, it's legally binding.
So it was a late-night tweet from Trump. Do you remember roughly what it said?
It said that many people think that Nigel Farage would make an excellent ambassador between the UK and the US, or
That's
something
many
along
in the
those
sense of one.
I responded to Donald Trump and I said, name them.
This is exactly what he said. Many people would like to see Nigel Farage represent Great Britain as their ambassador to the United States. He would do a great job.
Donald Trump doesn't even follow Nigel Farage on Twitter, which is a massive digital slap in the face. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't even follow him, so he doesn't think he's that great a job. He doesn't think he's got top bants online.
Do you know Can anyone remember? You remember Christopher Mayer, who was Tony Blair's ambassador to the US?
Yeah.
Do you remember what his instruction was?
Yeah. Get as drunk as possible and then avoid everybody.
It was pretty nearly that.
Was it?
He was told to get as far up George Bush's arse as you can.
It was exactly. We want you to go.
Is he allowed to use crampons? Is he?
We want you to get up the arse of the White House and stay there. So that's the brief. Actually, maybe Nigel Farage is qualified.
Well, Blair did it himself. He didn't actually need an ambassador.
Now, who'd like to see a picture of Farage, quite possibly the happiest moment in his life? But I think that's the door into Trump Tower.
It is fantastic. Have you seen the pictures of inside? It's sort of late Gaddafi. Perhaps early Saddam, but it's a riot of vulgar dictator chic. It is.
Meanwhile, how is Theresa May's special relationship with Trump coming along?
Very good.
Very good. He said to her, if you're ever over, do drop in.
Let me know.
Made that up. That was it.
If you're coming over, let me know.
No.
That's what you say to the couple you don't like on holiday, isn't it? Trump gave an interview to the New York Times this week. He broke one of his campaign promises in it. Do you know what that was?
The wall's not going to be a wall, it's going to be a fence.
Yes.
And then a sign. And then an old man going...
And he's not going to lock up Hillary.
That's the one, yes.
Anyone would think this show's trying to cheer us all up.
He dropped his threat to lock up Hillary Clinton. It's just not something that I feel very strongly about. That's not going to go down well with the nutters, is it? Did anyone catch any other gems from his interview?
Well,
Any other
he
things?
hasn't been locked up himself, so maybe he's feeling clement.
Yeah.
Because Trump University settled the case. First president who's actually had to pay out for fraud.
He said, I've settled the Trump University lawsuit for a small fraction of the potential award because as president I have to focus on our country. There was an issue that some people were perhaps thinking might have been there to distract from this.
Yeah, it was Hamilton.
Yeah.
And Mike Pence went to a musical, and Mike Pence believes that you can electrocute gay people until they're heterosexual again. And he went to see a musical, and unsurprisingly, the audience did not react favourably.
I'm just thinking of the potential of the rhyme of pence and fence.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think that would... Thank you.
Yeah.
Rap, it's much easier than it looks.
Another flurry of late-night tweets from Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Our wonderful future VP, Mike Pence, was harassed last night at the theatre by the cast of Hamilton. Cameras blazing. This should not happen. The cast of Hamilton was very rude last night to a very good man, Mike Pence. Apologise. The cast and producers of Hamilton, which I hear is highly overrated, should immediately apologise to Mike Pence for their terrible behaviour.
If an audience booing you demands an apology, then the people of Leamington Spa owe me a parade. After last Saturday, Mike Pence should try being a stand-up comedian. The things people, you're awful, this is dreadful, you're a huge disappointment to me and your father. He's just...
I did love the fact that Trump in his tweet said the theatre is meant to be a safe space. Rather ignores the history of the American presidency.
Have you ever noticed how much alpha males like to touch each other in the US?
Yeah, quite a lot. They do it all the time.
Yes, Noah Garfinkel on Twitter has noticed this. Let's see how many backslaps there are in this clip.
Can we get a...
Well, I think that's proof that Donald Trump believes in diversity. It's not just women he grabs. It's guys, you can grab them by the shoulder. Hey, get them by the butt.
This is the suggestion from Donald Trump that Nigel Farage should be the UK ambassador in Washington. There's been speculation that Trump might give a job to his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, but according to The Telegraph, as husband to Ivanka Trump, any role for Mr. Kushner could be limited by anti-nepotism laws. Laws brought in by George Bush. Or was it his dad? And so to round two, the picture spin quiz. Fingers on buzzers, teams.
The royal family have been hit, like all of us, heavily with finances, and they've started up a two-person do-it-yourself team. Liz and Phil, no job too small. No, I think this must be about Buckingham Palace. It's got to be renovated at a cost of...
£370 million.
That'll go up.
Would be the thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
There have been calls for the Queen to contribute to the Buckingham Palace repair bill. She could write a cheque, or she could do what she did with Windsor Castle and burn it down for the insurance. But what's actually going to be done to the palace?
They're getting in Trump's designer. And finally we're going to have a palace that actually looks like one. It's going to be gold outside and they're leopard skin inside. The throne's being done up with peacock feathers and proper bling in, you know, all the way through. And there's a casino on Horse Guards Parade with, you know, one-armed bandits all the way, and the Coldstream Guards will play hits from Cats as you do it. Prince Andrew's going to be an Elvis impersonator. He's going to do Love Me Tender, you know, as you hit the blackjack tables. I can't wait. I think it's going to be fantastic.
According to The Guardian, the work will cover 2,500 radiators, 152 toilets, 280 sinks, and even replacement of the old boiler. If only, muttered Charles. Several of the gas boilers at Buckingham Palace need replacing, and of course the engineers who do it will have to be Corgi approved.
There was a joke in Private Eye that was very similar to that. Do you remember it, Ian?
I do. It's in this issue. It was similar in the sense of being identical. But I'm not going to use this as an opportunity to flog my merchandise if say, I had a Christmas album of songs. I wouldn't bring it up. What's that I can hear?
Played that song to my wife as a punishment. You know it's a song about heroin, isn't it?
I do. I think it's a song about a state of mind.
Caused by heroin.
I thought for years it was about Gordon Brown.
But surely the lyric, never a frown with Gordon Brown, must have thrown you off the scent somewhat.
Fingers on buzzers, teams.
It's the annual story. It comes around every year, which is funny with annual stories. Basically, Lapland gone wrong. It's always a disaster, and somebody else has done it this year.
That's right, yes. Bakewell Winter Wonderland, for example, was nicknamed Blunderland after visitors paid £7 to trek through a muddy field, only to find no Santa, reindeer, grotto or fake snow.
Given this happens every year, do you think people just never learn? If I set up Nigerian minister writes you a letter land, do you think people would come along and just give me their money?
One person compared the conditions slightly dramatically to the Battle of the Somme. But here
Was
is...
there a £7 entry fee for that as well?
Nothing like a sense of proportion.
Here's a picture of the scene. There it is.
The magic Wellington boot table.
Why were the Woodward family particularly disappointed by what was on offer?
They'd come a long way.
They'd come a very long way. They'd come all the way down from Sheffield with their caravan and intended to spend the weekend on site, but had seen everything in 20 minutes. Winter Wonderland in Barrow, Cumbria, was also criticised this week. The ice rink flooded, the German market never materialised, and one mother said her children had more fun walking home.
The walk home land. I would set that one up too. You come to my field, there's nothing there, just walk home. £7. I'll have that.
It's hard entertaining kids, though.
Yeah.
Here is a child giving a particularly eloquent review of a visit to a safari park.
It's going to kick off here. It is going.
Oh my God!
Oh God.
Yes, this is the annual story of a winter blunderland. Angry parents said it was horrendous. Children were upset. There was too much alcohol around. Sounds like they nailed Christmas to me. Time now for the odd one out round. Just one between you this week, and your four are Sir Tony Robinson, D.H. Lawrence, Lucy, the oldest known human, and Simon Cowell.
So you're saying Lucy, the oldest known human, she is a sort of... is she a reconstruction of
She is,
what we used to be like
Yes.
back in the 40s?
Yes, she's not alive.
So, I've no idea. Has he got a clue?
Yeah, Heseltine has thousands of them.
These trees?
Yes.
Oh, so...
I was going to say effigies of Margaret Thatcher. Carry on.
Trees.
they
D.H.
were
Lawrence
tree
books
lovers.
were published in paper.
Zacchaeus could have been up there.
The tax collector.
The tax collector. Yeah.
He's olive trees.
No.
Fig trees.
No, I misled you there. No.
Oh, I
Just
see.
gonna go through all the
I'm more
trees.
interested in the exact biblical tree than in the answer to this question. So
Lucy's the odd one out.
No.
No,
not
she's
sure.
not.
The only thing anyone knows about her, she was named after a Beatles song. She was named after Lucy in the Sky.
No, that's not going to help here.
I saw it in a documentary.
Very interesting.
D.H. Lawrence was named after one of the early hits. It's not going well, this, is it?
Trees.
They've all knocked down trees. Tell us.
No, they all love climbing.
They all love climbing trees apart from D.H. Lawrence.
Apart from Lucy, who was ground-based.
No.
Simon Cowell.
No.
Simon Cowell. Tony Robinson's terrified of trees.
There we go. Apart from Tony, this is, look, I'm going
He
to tell
won't
you.
even touch a pencil.
They all like climbing trees,
Yeah.
apart from Sir Tony Robinson, who was caught urinating against one in the grounds of Buckingham Palace. He revealed this in an interview this week. Did anyone not? No. No.
I'm amazed it wasn't bigger news.
Simon Cowell likes climbing
He
trees.
likes climbing trees, absolutely. He revealed in an interview once his favourite hobby is climbing trees. He said, I climb trees daily. It's like a ritual. Anyway, back to the Palace Garden, where we joined Tony Robinson. He was filming an episode of Time Team Live in the Queen's Gardens, but got caught short moments before the cameras started rolling. The Portaloos were around the other side. There was no way I was going to get a wee in time, but I'm a middle-aged man. I have a prostate.
That's not unique.
How do we know that Lucy, our oldest known human ancestor, liked climbing trees?
She left a note.
She was discovered in the 1970s, but they've only just worked out by studying her bones that, in fact, there were multiple breaks, in particular a crushed shoulder joint, fractures of the ankle, leg bones, pelvis, ribs, vertebrae, arm, jaw and skull, but no signs of healing,
So
which
that makes her
suggests...
the oldest person who's fallen out of a tree apart from Keith Richards.
They say that suggests this was the cause of death.
Oh, wow.
And actually, the BBC website very helpfully shows us her falling from the... There we are, just in case we need it. The answer is they all like climbing trees, apart from Tony Robinson, who was caught urinating against one. Tony Robinson relieved himself just before a live time team at Buckingham Palace. It was a very exciting dig. They discovered the bony figure of an ancient prince who told them to bugger off out of his garden. According to the New York Times, D.H. Lawrence liked to climb a mulberry tree to inspire his writing. According to the article, many creative artists took inspiration in strange ways. Kipling demanded the blacker stink he could find. Strange ingredient for a fondant fancy. Simon Cowell told The Sun, I want my body frozen after I die. Well, they've already made a start on his face. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication Towpath Talk.
Oh, yeah.
There are lots of rules regarding barge travel. There's a limit of 60. No one under the age of 60. And we start with, you could now what using just your face?
Navigate your boat. Open locks. Open
You
locks.
see,
Open locks.
that is unwittingly right.
What do you mean unwittingly?
So you're thinking of barge locks, you're thinking of canalways, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
thinking of.
Actually, you can unlock your car. There are fears that the technology may not be perfect, and if you own a BMW, it might unlock doors to anyone who looks like a smug bastard. Next, Panto saves money using what as what?
Actual donkey as donkey.
Panto saves money in using normal-sized people as dwarfs, but making them stand further away.
This is right. Panto saves money using tall actors on knees as dwarves. It's been revealed that several pantomime dwarves have lost work to taller actors performing on their knees. To be honest, that's how a lot of actors finally get work. According to one paper, dwarves are paid around £1,200 a week. And remember, that's on top of what they make in the mines. Next, what is mundane and messy but cannot be avoided?
Childbirth.
Is it life?
It is, in fact, blacking the bottom of a boat.
Yes.
This is from Towpath Talk, the annual dilemma of how to black your barge's hull. Should you use a specialist product like Intertough or Comastic? Should you think about grit blasting the hull and protecting it with a 2-pack epoxy finish? Or should you go and live in a fucking house like a normal person? Next, Bill Gates invents cure for what?
Is it Windows 8?
No. Bill Gates invents cure for the smell of poo. Presumably all you have to do is open windows. And finally, woman mistakes ultrasound for what?
Chocolate.
Lasagna.
Absolutely right. Brendan Taylor posted a picture of his partner's scan on Facebook. Here it is. To which someone replied, "That lasagna looks crispy." To which Brendan replied, "That's my daughter." This is the story of a woman... It's the story of a woman who posted an ultrasound picture of her unborn baby daughter, only for her friend to mistake it for a lasagna. Although she hopes to have her baby naturally, doctors have warned her she may require a caesarean salad. So the final scores are Ian and Nish have 4, Paul and Jess have 8. And I leave you with news that an old showbiz double act are forced to go back on the road with their Catch the Peanut routine. In Washington, one Democrat admits to putting a crafty $100 on Trump to win. And in central London, one politician begins to regret agreeing to the image consultant's suggestion to have a makeover.
Getting it on.
Good night.
Tom Hollander's in the guest seat next Friday at 9. Now, imagine being locked up with the Chuckle Brothers. Prepare for TV's cruelest reality show, part of Williams and Friend, next.